Welcome back, everybody, to A Certain Point of View. My name is Jake Berlin, and I am your host / co-host for this live rendition of our breakdown for the Innergeekdom tournament. I am joined today by my regular partner in crime here on A Certain Point of View, Mr. Brian Avellino. How you doing over there, man?
As best as we all can be.
Very true. Yes. Times are tough right now, and there's been a lot going on in the Schmoedown as well as the world recently, and we support everything through and through, and we're behind it all. And we're trying to stick together as a community and as a people, and we are here. And so we are taking the time today to take a little bit of a breather and kind of shed some light a little bit into everything going on around the world. And we're going to be talking this IG match that dropped just about an hour and a half ago. Just ended about 30 minutes ago. And we're very excited because it's the play-in match of the IG tournament. And two players who are debuting in IG, which is actually a really cool thing to do. You're debuting in a tournament, kind of a cool little addition there. Mr. Ben Goddard for the Den, Kate Mulligan and Grace, their golden boy, if you will, who has showed up through and through for this entire season. And then on the flip side for Roxy, you have Jim Vejvoda, who really stood up in that team's match he had recently and is making his mark here in the IG realm, seeing if he can get through it a little bit. And it's a match that definitely lived up to it. It's a great play-in match. It's not a championship style match or anything like that, but it's a great kickoff for this tournament. Mr. Goddard, spoiler, if you're watching this, you're watching this because you watched the match. It's all spoilers, but Mr. Goddard walked away with a TKO, and we're going to break it down. We're going to get into it as far as details and decision-making and stuff like that. And so, Brian, right off the bat here, just initial reactions. I think, as far as I know, we both chose the Bandit in this one, correct?
Yeah. It was a kind of last minute decision for me, but because that promo had just kind of like Vejvoda's promo kind of like made me think like, oh, this guy sounds like he knows what he's going to be talking about.
It was a good promo.
Yeah. But it's just really hard to go against Goddard with what he's shown so far. So yeah, at the end I ended up going with Goddard, or in the beginning.
Yeah, before we get started here, I do want to mention, guys, that if you are watching live, and we really, really appreciate it, go ahead and throw some comments at us. We'd love to hear from you guys, and check out, or get some questions from you guys about the match or anything we're talking about. So go ahead and leave some comments there. We would love to hear from you guys. But let's go ahead and start this off with round number one. Typically round one is always the easiest, right? It's kind of like a get to, you're getting used to this a little bit, especially with the first IG match of this tournament. You expect the questions to not be too difficult, but have a little bit of levity to them. And that definitely seemed to be the case. Nobody went perfect, and which is definitely a surprise on Goddard's side, because he seems to go perfect quite a bit. He's 2 for 4 in perfect first round so far, but he goes 9 for 10, missing the Man of Steel question, which I'm sure threw everyone for a loop. Accomplished wonder. That tagline definitely seems like a Wonder Woman type line, but it fits for Man of Steel. And then Jim Vejvoda goes 6 for 10, mixing 4 of the questions. And really, it definitely seemed like it was just a little bit of the nerves for Vejvoda. And I think he may even admitted it towards the end that, the pressure of counting down may have just gotten to him, or overthinking some things. Like he had mentioned Sofia Boutella, how he has interviewed her before, just couldn't think of the name. And so definitely a little bit of just maybe under the lights per se, as far as the StreamYard goes, and the pressure of playing for the first time by yourself. Because so far in 3 or 4 matches, he's only done teams, and playing at this big of a stage with all these people watching, even though it's recorded, under just by yourself with, nobody right there with you. It's definitely a challenge. And it kind of showed there in the first round.
Yeah. Even then he only missed 1, and it's like,
if you're talking about Ben?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Sorry. Goddard. With Goddard, I mean, you missed 1. You're doing great. Vejvoda, yeah, I mean, he's done teams. It's always helpful to have that partner, if you will. And I mean, he's playing in something that wouldn't well, he's playing in a way that is not the typical. So, I mean, if this was a normal thing, we would see them in a studio and doing like that. But you also have to this is the first time doing the what do you want to call
IG?
it? Yeah, I meant to say like live stream type.
Yeah.
Where it's
Virtual,
you're on the
virtual.
computer. Yeah, a virtual one. It's not like he's been doing any of those. So, yeah, he hasn't done an exhibition, hasn't done it's not like he did Star Wars. So I mean, it's new. Everything he kind of did was new, and it showed. I mean, he did fumble a little bit at some certain points, but yeah, I mean, as best as
the two questions in the first round they definitely fumbled on were the Sophia Boutella question and then the Dread question, which I understand why he did pick Punisher Warzone, but Judgment and Dread to a lot of fans, it kind of goes hand in hand. That can go either way though. And so we move into second round. Goddard's got the lead 9-6 here. And this is where it got really interesting because the match kind of just flipped a tail on its head a little bit. And Goddard spun first. He decided to go first and he spun Opponent's Choice. And after some delegation there, they decided to give him scores and soundtracks, and that really worked out in their favor.
Yeah.
You can tell that Goddard was struggling a little bit. He fought his way through, right? He got 3 of the 5 questions right. He got 4 points out of it. But Vejvoda did get a steal right off the bat with the Deathly Hollows question for 2 points, which really put him back in the match. At that point, it was 9-8 at that point. And so it was just a brand new match. And you walk away with 4 points, so he's up 13-8 after his spin, and it really looks like it's anybody's game. Vejvoda spins, he gets Opponent's Choice, and then Goddard and the Den decide to give him the Wizarding World, and it was definitely the right decision at their part because not only did he spin away from it, but you can tell Wizarding World is just not something that he knows. They're very deep cut questions sometimes for people who don't watch the movies every year, every so often. You're not going to know these answers. And it showed he went 2 for 5 2 points, but Goddard got 3 1-point steals to end the round, not throughout, but to end the round, which put the momentum strictly in his favor. And so at that point, Goddard was up 16-10. But I mean, look, two guys who spun Opponent's Choice and their weaknesses showed here. Goddard definitely fought his way through a little bit better, but I'll say this, from what we saw in the first round, Vejvoda kind of struggled a little bit, guessing his way through. He played the game correctly this round. He went to multiple choice. He was asking for re-answers. He was doing what he needed to do to give him the best situation. And so it's whether or not Goddard was leading this round afterwards, I give kudos to Vejvoda for stepping up and really understanding the game of the Schmoedown because it definitely showed in this round.
Yeah. Yeah, it wasn't that bad. I mean, you never know what's going to happen when you get Opponent's Choice, and they got 2 of them. You want to go for it?
This is from the Kingsman question that Goddard got in his round. Literally one word that could have been a 2-point steal, which would have been huge for him. That can definitely be considered. Thank you, Leah Logan, for that. That could definitely be considered like that turning point in the match, because if he hadn't gotten that, you don't know what could have happened after that.
Yeah. Well, the TKO would have been
knocked off, I believe, right?
Knocked off. Yeah, I believe so. So I mean, he makes a good point. I forgot where I was going because I was like, oh yeah, I forgot all about that. So props for that, Leo.
Yeah, no, we were talking about how Vejvoda kind of stepped his way up through the round and showed how he was learning the game more so than just playing it. He was understanding the actual game side of it.
He knew how to use multiple choice, which obviously that is something some of these new players are stumbling.
They don't think about. Like, it's crazy. They just don't think about multiple choice. Yeah.
And he did try to do that in the first question of the third round. So at least he knew there is multiple choice.
Very true.
Yeah. But it Goddard's scary. Like if he lands on a confident thing, he's just gonna roll. Roll.
And he proved that in the Lord of the Rings exhibition match. And he talked about at the end Robert Parker, and we don't know, obviously, he had said that he knew all the overtime questions in that match. We don't obviously know because he wasn't playing in it, but he said Robert Parker beat him by one question. And that's saying something. Like, if that's actually the case, that's really saying something, especially because they're going up against each other next, which we'll get to.
Yeah. But yeah, I texted you at some point going, well, when it was opponent's choice, and Vejvoda stole that Harry Potter question, I was like, oh crap.
Yeah.
He might be able to win this. Didn't work out in that favor the next couple of questions. But yeah, this is what happens when you spin the wheel, you spin away, and then you get opponent's choice. It's going to come back to bite you in the butt almost every time, because you just gave the opponent something you're not confident in, 100%. or you didn't feel confident enough to select. And if you felt that way enough to spin away from it and you land on opponent's choice, 9 out of 10 times they're going to throw that back in your face. So, I mean, yeah, it's funny because I was sitting there like, oh, dang, Goddard got screwed. He got opponent's choice. Vejvoda is probably going to land on something he's either mildly comfortable with or really good at. And he hit that opponent choice, and it was like even playing field after that, because
100%.
I mean, if you get double opponent's choice, the game's almost mute if it's close enough. So
yes, agreed. So after round 2, Goddard was up 16-10. At that point, it was all up to Vejvoda. We knew that the TKO was in sight, and that just happened to be the case here. He gets a Middle Earth question to start the round off about one person credited as a screenwriter of the Lord of the Rings trilogy. Peter Jackson was one of the answers that he answered with the very last second there. And then he gets the Indiana Jones question, which, did you know the Indiana Jones question by chance?
Yeah, it was funny because I was like, huh, I know one. When he said Indiana Jones, I was like, oh God, like this be everything. And that was like the one time I knew an Indiana Jones question. I was like, the kids.
Nice. Yeah. So he gets the Temple of Doom question. The answer was the kids. And then he gets the Daredevil question, which I didn't guess either one of these. You might have. I'm sure you might have.
I guessed the nut. Okay. It.
I was thinking to myself a dart. I was thinking a dart, like a bar dart.
Just that would have been brutal.
You don't know a paperclip is still brutal?
I literally thought when I heard him say nut, I was like, he got it. And then Christian goes, no. And I was just,
and your winner. Yeah, he says, and your winner. Yeah.
And so I was like, what? Wait, what is it?
Well, what's funny is he seemed confident too, because he answered relatively quickly. So maybe that's from a different movie somewhere where someone does get killed by a nut in that same situation.
I know that, and if anyone's watching it that knows it, I could have sworn, because that was literally what I thought of. I thought he took a bar nut, he puts it on the table, and he flings it, and so
that's got to be in another movie somewhere.
It must be, or he does it with someone else. I don't know. But then once he said paperclip, I remembered, because I was
I don't remember the paperclip. Why would he have a paperclip in a bar? Why would he have that? I know it's in the movie. I'm not questioning the answer or anything. I'm just like thinking to myself, a paperclip in a bar? You're thinking a bar nut, or maybe a dart for playing darts or something. It just makes sense.
Yeah.
But I mean, whatever. I mean,
yeah. So I would have guessed the same exact thing as Vejvoda. So
so he gets the Daredevil question wrong for his 5-pointer, and Goddard walks away with the TKO here, 16-5, which is huge for the Den.
Sorry.
That's it. Okay.
You're 100% right. I clearly remember it now. Do you remember that?
No, I don't.
She won't shut up on the plane.
I have maybe seen the movie once, and it was years and years and years ago.
Yeah, you're right.
I don't remember it all.
Thank you. That was gonna drive me nuts.
And that's probably exactly what he was thinking as well. So now we get a little insight into the answer. Thank you, Leo. So Goddard walks away with a TKO here. It's huge. It puts the Den strictly in second place, 1 point behind the FinStock Exchange, if I'm not mistaken. We don't have the standings graphic up right now.
3 points for this one. So
yes, and we don't have the graphic up right now at the moment. It's still being edited and everything like that. But FinStock Exchange had 16 and the Den had 12. So if my math is correct, they now have 15, 1 point above
I would hope
Swag.
you can do 12 plus 3.
One point below
mess up.
FinStock Exchange, which is massive. And Brian here, you are absolutely correct. I don't think it's a question at this point that it is in his hands. I don't see another rookie right now who's competed as on a regular basis as he has. Remember, not only does he have 4 matches under his belt in the actual league, he stepped up huge in the exhibition matches. Now I know we don't know if exhibition matches are included in this, but if they are,
I bet you he will at the end.
it's an absolute lock if they are. And I think it's an absolute lock either way. But he's 4 for 4. He's 4 for
1
4
in 3 different divisions,
and he's 4 for 4
as a rookie.
Yeah,
and hasn't lost.
yeah, that's crazy.
I don't know how. I mean, obviously, Star Wars is a whole different monster, but like seriously, like if you're coming out and winning a match on your debut in every single one of those, that's insane. Yeah, exactly. Undefeated this whole season in 3 different leagues. I mean, and
Rookie of the year for sure. Has to be.
Yeah. There hasn't been enough for anyone to come close to him. And
that could easily flip after this tournament.
Yeah,
because of the person he's playing next.
I know. But as of right now, in this moment, there's no, you can't even equate that to anyone else.
So let's get to this, because his next matchup is against the Spider himself, Robert Parker, and it's obviously a big test. And Ben himself, even at the end of the match, said he has nothing to lose at this point. Robert is expected to win. He's expected to win, and so it's going to be an interesting match. It's going to be very fun. It's going to be a great lead up. We can't wait to discuss it here and preview it and review it and all that type of stuff. But the question now becomes, continuing with this Rookie of the Year talk here, if Ben does take Robert Parker to the brink and Parker loses some point in the tournament, like let's say to Kalinowski in the finals, I could see the possibility of Ben still winning the Rookie of the Year. But if Parker does walk away with the IG tournament, there's no way Ben walks away with the Rookie of the Year. A rookie coming in and winning a tournament is essentially a lock in any sport. That's a huge undertaking, especially if that does happen and he does face a Kalinowski. That's almost a lock in any sport, and especially in something like this.
Yeah.
Yes, 100%. Yeah. It would be incredible. It'd be so awesome.
It would be insane. I'm not saying that I'm pulling for either.
Yeah, we'll decide that later on. We'll talk about that later on. We're not making our predictions right now. We're making them later on.
Yeah, but I'm gonna possibly argue what you just said about him running through the tournament and winning. Now, if he runs through this tournament like he did when he played Ace, there's no question. No question. Like, if he runs through his opponents like that, then yeah. If he can do that to a big name in one of the matches, yeah, obviously. If he gets into one, maybe 2 situations where it's close, I could diminish just a little bit his chances, because you have to remember, Goddard has won in 3 different leagues.
I know. I understand that.
That's unheard of.
I agree. I'm just saying, whether they're close or not, and he's going to have close matches. There's no way that Parker's going to run through everybody. There's not. It's not going to happen. But if he does win, and let's say he plays, I have to look at the bracket, but let's say he plays 3 or 4 matches and he wins the tournament, to me, if I was the head of the league, that's Rookie of the Year. Because that is playing under pressure. That is playing some of the best players in the league at a short span and not waiting weeks between matches. And like I said, the pressure of facing giants in this league, an Adam Lavick, a Mike Kalinowski, whether or not he is a Brandon Hanna who seems to be on a warpath. You have these people who have competed in this league. If he faces them, whether he wins big or not, to me, that's like saying, okay, this guy is deserving. And I totally understand the argument of winning in 3 different leagues. That's crazy. That's something that Mike Kalinowski was doing just over a year ago. Not very many people, if any, have done that before. I'm not saying Ben's going to compete for a championship right now, but he is showing that he can compete in 3 different divisions, which is scary. And he's a rookie. It's lethal. But if we're talking about rookie of the year and the way the path is, I will also say that Parker's doing it alone, whereas 2 of the matches Ben played were teams. They weren't individual, which does go to Parker's decision. And this is only if Parker wins. This is only if Parker wins.
Obviously, yeah.
Yes.
I mean, yeah. In my opinion, Parker is on the... Here's the thing. Parker's, to me, on the harder side of the bracket. Because at the end of the day...
Chance Ellison, Paul Oyama, Ben Goddard, Adam Lavick, Janine, like...
Yeah. So he is on, in my opinion, on the harder side of the bracket. If he beats Goddard, which is not an easy task.
No.
I mean, we're not writing Goddard off in the slightest. If anyone could pull something off like that right now, it's probably him.
His odds just shot up
easily. I mean, so let's say Parker does go through Goddard. He then has to take either Chance or Oyama. Mm-hmm. That's another mountain.
Yep.
And then he will have to take probably, if I'm going to put my money down, the Barbarian.
Or Lavick. Probably one of those 2.
Yeah. That's another freaking task. And then you have the whole entire right side of the bracket, which you're looking at probably a Kalinowski if you're a betting person as of just right now.
Maybe Damon shocks the people.
Yeah, maybe a Damon. And I still don't count Brandon Hanna out of it. So, I mean, yeah, I mean, he's going to have to play through some giants if he wants that Innergeekdom title. And like I said, his case only gets even crazier if he like wipes the floor with one of them. But as of right now, that title is clearly in the hands of Goddard at this moment.
The rookie of the year comes out of this tournament, though, correct? You with me? 100%. Whoever goes farther is probably rookie of the year.
Can we pull someone from Star Wars or no?
That's true.
Would you consider Emily? Laura Kelly.
She's not a rookie.
Rookie. Okay.
No, she's not.
Parker, I can't wait.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
The promos are going to be great. The promos are going to be great for that one. And I mean, they were great for this one. We mentioned it. Vejvoda was not bad, and Goddard was always good on the mic.
Chance. Okay. The promos for that Ellison and Oyama match are going to be insane. The amount of ish talking between those 2 teams is going to explode. It's going to be like Laura Kelly and Sullivan with the Twitter fight back.
Yeah, it's Winston versus Shannon, which is even like a bigger deal.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, yeah, that one needs to happen. I can't wait for that.
That one needs to happen soon. That one really needs to happen soon.
Yeah.
Okay, so
you said your question though. Rookie of the year coming out of Innergeekdom. I would say it's the heavy favorite, unless someone runs
the only person out of Star Wars that could do it would be Molly,
and she would have to win it.
And she would have to win it.
Yeah. I would agree then, because Teams isn't making enough noise right now, and neither is singles. depending on if they do that singles tournament and
that can
how
change
that
the whole
works.
conversation. That could change the entire conversation if that happens or when that happens, for sure. But who knows? Remember, Ben's going to be competing in that if that happens.
Yeah. So yeah, I would say right now it would come out of Innergeekdom.
All right.
I would have to say, just with all the names that are in there right now too.
Cool.
All right,
Brian. Well, hey, it's a question that we're going to be having quite a bit. So before we get out of here, guys, as we broke down this match today and talked about a little bit of Goddard versus Parker, we'll preview that match once it comes along in the future. Oh, we got one last question here. Warfather versus Greg Alba tomorrow. This is actually one that we can preview. I'm not 100% sure it actually is being released tomorrow. I know Christian was saying he might hold off onto it until next week. Out of respect for what's going on. But Warfather versus Greg Alba, it's a great question because we know
I think I already know who's going to do it. I think I already have my pick.
You're probably going Warfather, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I figured. He looks good. He looks good.
I feel like he is one of those ones that like is hiding and waiting in the sand and is going barbarian? Barbarian's here.
Yes, but he was waiting in the sand before it happened, is what I'm saying.
Yes, but he's already here. Yeah, see, I agree. Warfather,
I'm going Greg Alba. Give me those quirky mercs, baby. That's my team all year long. I'm picking them.
I was waiting for you.
Greg Alba. They see the real rejects seem to have kind of turned their tide a little bit, flip their head, and be a little bit more competitive and serious about it. And I feel like Koi Jandru is going to get them up and running, and Greg Alba is going to be studying his tail off. We know what kind of stuff he likes. I'm sure he's studying the stuff he doesn't like, but I could be completely wrong. It could be completely wash, and Warfather could scrape the floor with him. But I do think that it'll be a really, really good match. I definitely agree with that.
Yeah. Well, to finish what I was saying, I think Warfather he's not established like the Barbarian where people are afraid of him now. But I think he could get to that level. Because right now he's kind of just like hiding and waiting. I feel like it's a matter of just when he's going to start showing people that he's here. Personally, I need to see a Warfather versus Barbarian match just out of name titles in that one. Just because, I mean, can you imagine a promo of a Warfather versus a Barbarian? Like, for you and your Vikings, that's right up your alley. But
dude, I would get dressed up for that.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's definitely interesting. And to note real quick if that match actually is being released tomorrow or not. If it is tomorrow, we're gonna try our best to do a breakdown like we're doing today on that match. But going forward, we might adjust the IG breakdowns, and they might possibly not be live because they're released on days. Some other stuff is happening for us, and so those might be pre-recorded and then released the day after. We're still deciding, and so you guys might see it live. Just go ahead and follow us on Twitter, which is where we update everybody on everything. And yes, you are correct, Brian. Singles tournament might be 32 people. I would not be surprised. There's enough of them. There really is enough of them to compete at 32, maybe even more. Make it a March Madness style and just go for it. It'd be amazing that way. And then to note quickly on this one, that's a conversation to be had for sure. I know that it's a touchy subject as of right now for what's going on. Jay is definitely a possibility. I know that he has some other things going at the moment, but being that he was a consultant for Winston, that helps him and hurts him because he might not want to leave swag, but he also might want to manage his own team. But who knows? Someone who's been waiting in the wings, who's managed before, maybe someone like an Emma Fife who doesn't have much going on is possible. That could be cool.
Why you got to steal the one person?
Oh, is that what you said? Sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Oh, that's not bad.
Oh, Brian, that's my job.
At the same time. Well, you were taking a while.
That's a good call.
That's not bad.
It's a good call.
Yeah. I'm curious. It's funny because I've been looking through trying to see a name that would stick out to me. So far, I haven't
I have one that I
seen-
just thought of.
Who?
Someone who it probably wouldn't work because this said person doesn't live here in LA, but that doesn't mean they can't virtually or anything like that. And he's not currently competing in the league. JTE.
But he's on a team.
The Burning Droogs.
But if he can't compete, he's not going to have enough time to manage a team.
Maybe. I don't know. Might be kind of cool, though.
Yeah. I mean, that could be.
It's going to be someone who's not part of a team and who's currently undrafted and probably has managed before, like we were talking about.
Yeah. The manager factor, probably.
Ooh, what about a Rachel Cushing?
No.
Wouldn't that be interesting?
She's
That'd be crazy interesting.
She's Sam Levine's right-hand woman.
Yeah, of course. But how interesting would that be?
How about this? What if McWeenie comes back and takes over a team instead of competing?
Very possible. Very possible. I do. That's a good call. I do think that the two contenders to take over that we know of that have been part of the league are Jay and Emma. Right? They originally had teams when this was all announced, right? Jay had Heroes and Villains, and then Emma had Five Club. And it would make sense for them to step in, being that they've done this before. But I could also see it being someone who's connected to someone on that team. And we may not know who that is at this point. So it's a conversation that's definitely been had. I don't know how long it's going to take for us to know. I know that it's behind the scenes stuff and it's complicated, but we're gonna have that conversation later on this week on our main show, for sure. That'll definitely be a conversation that comes up.
Yeah, we'll have to go through and pick some names. I could see someone from like way back coming and taking a team,
like an original, yeah,
like a 2015 or something, like far back coming in, but like a namesake.
What about a Ken Knapsack? He managed corruption last year. Player manager.
But he's playing in the Star Wars tournament.
Yeah, but who knows? I'm just throwing names out there.
I know. I'm trying to think.
Josh Makuga.
He's on a team. Plus, there's no way that Makuga comes back before we get a reunited Wild Berries. I know. People will be like, no, it's never gonna.
We're gonna have to scrape the circle of the Schmoedown and see who can possibly do it. And well, like I mentioned, we're gonna be doing that this week or this upcoming week on our show. He's on team. He's on either on Finstock. I think he's on Finstock Exchange or Corruption. I think, isn't he?
Is he?
I think so. I believe so. I think he got drafted. No, maybe the Den. I could have sworn he got drafted. I don't think he's got a baby at home. He's probably not even.
Oh no, you're right. He is Finstock Exchange.
Yeah, he's Finstock Exchange. Okay, that'd be interesting. No, I mean, look, we're gonna take the time and we shoot on Sunday, so we have a couple days to think about this and really dive into it. But it's a conversation that we'll definitely be having on our main show. The show will be up on Monday, guys. And speaking of that show, as we mentioned on our last video, we have a really cool thing coming for you guys. We have a co-host who is going to be joining Brian and I. We are very, very excited about this person who's going to be joining us. We teased that person a little bit last time as far as their involvement and that they're a big supporter, and we didn't give any other details. And here's the next detail I can't give you. She is going to be a blast on this show. She is going to bring a different kind of outlook and perspective to a certain point of view, and we are very, very excited to have her. And that is the last tease I will give to you guys at the moment.
Well, you just gave away a huge. That was a huge clue.
But nobody's going to know. Nobody. Who knows? Maybe they guess it. That's the point of it. That's the point of it. Who knows? Who knows if they actually know or not? But we'll see. But yes, that show will be up on Monday morning. You guys can find it right here on this channel on YouTube. You guys can find it on all the audio platforms that right above Brian's head. And as I mentioned, we're going to be doing these breakdowns for both IG and Star Wars. The Star Wars ones live on Thursdays. We do that Thursday afternoon after we can kind of get together and just, after watching the match and everything, that's kind of the best time for us. And then IG, being that they're released on on Wednesdays, I believe, as well. Maybe if they're released on Thursdays, then that might be released on Fridays. So going forward, just check out the Twitter. That's where we'll update you guys as far as schedules go. But for now, this is our breakdown of Ben Goddard and Jim Vejvoda. One last right here. A couple comments. Swag is Maguga. Yes, I know. Brian threw it in my face. And Brian, he's a swag drip.
I just got my
save it for the show.
No, I can't.
Oh God, here we go. Go.
How?
Interesting. Very interesting. All right. Well, there it is. With that said, this is a certain point of view and our Schmoedown IG match reaction, review, breakdown of Ben Goddard versus Jim Vejvoda. Goddard walking away with the TKO for the Den. We guys can't thank you guys for joining us enough, and as well as commenting along. That was fun, getting some good conversations about what you guys are thinking about the other side. And as I mentioned earlier, check out the main show up every Monday morning right here on this channel. And so that is it for Brian, for myself. We are a certain point of view. We thank you guys for joining us. We will see you guys next week, and have a good one.